we're now on the top of Daf Lamed Amud Beis. Tivno v'kashu tnan. Our Mishnah, which establishes that you have to pay damages for taking out your Tevin and Kash into Rishus Harabim, that's a case of Dafka Tavno v'kasho mishum de mashrike. Right? They are very slippery. And therefore, even Rabbi Yehuda concede that even during that period of time, which is called Shas Hotzas Volim, he has to pay for the Nezikin. Rabbi Yehuda only establishes Ptur in a case of Motzi Bershus, if it's Eino Machlikim Kolkach, if it's objects that aren't so slippery, but Tavno V'Kasho. So, for example, others Volim, Rabbi Yehuda said, well, you'd be potter for damages because you have a shus to take it out there through the Takon of Yoshua. But in the case of Tavno V'Kasho, which are Machlikim, that's called Mishrikei, that means they're very slippery, then you have to take responsibility and it'll be negligence on your part if somebody gets damaged. The Mishnah establishes that if a person is Motzi, Tavno V'Kashil Shus Harabim, the Chacham made a knas, and they were mafkir his moment, Kol HaKodim B'Mzocha Marav. This din that Kol HaKodim B'Mzocha, Bein B'Gufo, Bein B'Shvachan. This applies to the Tevin and the Kash itself, or to the increment in the value as the value of the Tevin and Kash rises. It gets higher and higher, the appreciation of the market value of the Tevin and Kashim as a result of Drisas Raglei Odom Bein B'Sarab. The stomping really improves the Tevin and the Kash as a fertilizer. And when he brought out his Tevin and Kash Sarabim for the purpose of the animals and the people stomping on it to be mashpiach, to make it, then the Chachamim imposed the Knas, and the Knas was that not only is a person who does such a thing, and the Zocha could come along and take it away and possess it or acquire ownership for himself. But beyond that, even the Guf HaTeven and the Shvach, both together, are included under the Knas. And you might have said the following, you know what? Since it wasn't such a terrible thing that he put the Tevin and the Kash out there to begin with, maybe we'll only concentrate him on the Shvach. But we're going to concentrate him even on the Guf. The entire Tevin V'Kash is now Hefker by virtue of this Knas and Kol HaKodim Zoch. Iri Omar? No. Lo Kansu Chachamim El B'Shvachan, Aval Lo B'Gufan. In other words, the owner of the Kash and Tevin has a right to demand the value of the original Guf of the Tevin and Kash before it was placed out in Rishus Harabim. B'may Miflagi, Rav Sover Shekonsu Gufa Mishum Shvachan. They wanted to make and impose a Knas with a lot of harshness and teeth in it, because otherwise they wouldn't take it so seriously. Because in the worst case scenario, all right, I'll lose my shvach, but I won't lose my guf. So Rav holds they forced him to give up even on the guf. That the Isa really that he violated by placing his Tevin Rishus Harabim is a result of the drisa that he wanted to achieve and the shvach that he wanted to improve the increment in value. That's what he has to give up on, but not on the guf. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, and this Mishnah seems to be a support for Zeiri. If a person finds golo in the public domain and he picks it up and puts it down in a different place, and after he changes its place, somebody gets damaged in the second place, he has to pay tashlumi nezek. And the Gemara is medayik. In this part of the Mishnah, it doesn't say that someone could be zocha. And that's because the golol is now called guf, right? There's no shevach here. It's only guf. And even though the person who replaced or relocated the goal was in violation of an Isur in Rosh Hashanah because he picked it up and he put it in another place and created a brand new takala. But we see that nevertheless the knas was only on the shvach because the shvach was a result of the Isur. And since the glolim are not subject to shvach, they don't improve in value even though they get moved from place to place, or it's not like that stomping over the goal will improve its value. Therefore, there's no knas at all, because according to Zeiri, there's only a knas on shvach and not on guf. But according to Rav, there should have been a knas on the guf. And the Gemara rejects and says, even though the Mishnah in the Sefer with regard to Hofekas HaGol did not mention the knas, the Mishnah relied on us to understand that the same logic that generated the knas in the ratio would justify the knas and apply the knas in the Sefer. The Gemara, Vatani Allah, we have a brisa that explains the Mishnah and says that with regard to this goal, Asurim Mishum Gezel, no one's allowed to take them. And that for sure is against Rav. And the Gemara answers, Kikatani Asurim Mishum Gezel, when it says in the brisa that the goal is also Mishum Gezel, Akula Masnis and Koi. It's going back to the entire Mishnah, even the Teven and the Kash at the beginning of the Mishnah, La Oso Shekodam V'Zocha. That if a person was Zocha in the Teven of the Kash or the Glolim, it actually belongs to him. He could be Zocha in it. And if somebody else comes along and takes it from him, that somebody else violates the Isur Gezel. It doesn't say like that. Let's this now. We have actually it says here this not. It should be Disanya. We have a Tosefta that says Hamotzi Tivno V'Kashal Shusarabim Lizvolim. So he takes out his Teven, his Kash, in order that the Ragli Behema and so forth should be Dores on it. V'Huzak V'Nacher Chayav B'Nizko. He has to pay damages. We call Kol B'Em Zocho Muta B'Shum Gezel. So we see clearly that this brisa supports the Iri against Rav, that Chachamim only consider the shvach, and in the case of Glolim, there is no shvach. So that's against Rav. You want to ask a kasha from Glolim? Why didn't they impose a knas on the person who put out the glolim so that the finder could take it for himself? That's not a kasha. I'm sorry. We're using Rav's logic of konsu gufo mishum shvacho. So he says if it's a davar sheish bo shvach, it has a shvach like teven and kash. Then konsu gufo mishum shivcha. But davar sheish bo shvach lo konsu, and therefore no one's allowed to be to the Iboilahu. The Gemara vacillates l'divrei omer konsu gufon mishum shvachon is lialter kansinon o lechimaisi shivcha kansinon. According to Rav Shita, that we impose the knas even on the guf of Teven and Kash because of shvach, then at what moment in time do we impose that knas? And we make it like onerous. Shall we say it's immediate when he puts it down because that's what he violated the Isur, or no, we wait till there was a shvach and the Rabbanan did not impose a knas until after the shvach is a reality in Rosh Hashanah. And Toshma Midakai Rinon Golol. In other words, the Gemara had a svara before that you could prove against Rav from the case of Golol. And according to Rav, Konsu Chachamim Yad Kishahotzi, immediately when he put it out. Okay, then, so this is where we're going to stop.
Okay,
thank you so much, and I want to wish you a great day and a great week.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much.